This veiled woman was peculiar, sitting in Jarrett Staley, refusing to budge. No one dared approach, nor had anyone seen her face. She neither ate nor drank, endured all weather, staying for weeks, never even using the restroom. The homeowner noticed this odd individual, especially since she was home alone with her 2 children. It was just her and her 2 children. For the safety of her 2 children, Sarah came out on her crutches and kindly asked if she needed any help, hoping to get rid of her. But when Sarah asked her where she came from, the woman under the veil said she was summoned by Sarah. Sarah didn't recognize her at all and felt like she was being made a fool of, so she yelled at the woman to get out of her jar. The woman underneath the veil slowly revealed her hands, which were covered in blood, as she kept saying, "Your children are so cute, so fresh they made me want to take a bite." Sarah's eyes widened in fear at her words. She immediately went back inside and locked all the doors and windows, warned her 2 children not to go near the woman outside, saying she was very dangerous. Ever since the veiled woman appeared, strange things started happening at Jaime's house. The chickens kept outside died for no reason, and the dog barked incessantly. The veiled woman just slightly extended her hand, and the dog immediately fell silent. When Jaime came out, upon searching for the dog, she discovered its chain was buried in the earth. Sarah sensed something was very wrong, who the dog had been buried alive. After extracting the chain, there was no sign of the dog at all. Sarah finally exhaled in relief, but the dog had seemingly disappeared, never to be seen again. In the evening, the woman outside abruptly began to stir. She eerily flashed to a spot 10 meters from the house. Seeing this, Sam, wanting to protect his family, took out the family's hunting rifle and went outside. Although he was young, he knew this was trespassing. He raised the rifle to scare the woman away. The woman didn't take him seriously at all. Not only did she not leave, she even took the initiative to remove her veil. Sam, he just wanted to scare the woman into backing down, but he didn't expect her to be completely unafraid and even more aggressive. Sam had no choice but to act tough and calm. As they faced off, the woman suddenly said to Sam, "Your mother deceived you. When your father left, your mother presented the story to you in reverse." Hearing the woman, Sam angrily asked Sarah, "What truly happened the night of the car accident?" "Mom, I have to know." Seeing the determined look in her son's eyes, Sarah had no choice but to tell the truth. That night, Jaime and her husband had a big argument about moving. While driving back, Sarah was completely absent-minded, which is what caused the car accident, and her husband died because of it. But what did this have to do with a woman outside? Why would she appear here, and who was she? While Sarah was still regretting what she'd done, the woman outside transformed into her giant shadow, slowly approaching their house. Soon, the shadow appeared inside their house, as if it had a life of its own. Hearing screams, Sarah and the others came to check and saw a dark figure relentlessly flipping that table and was trying to attack them. This dark shadow was ubiquitous, appearing wherever there was light. Just as the shadow picked up a knife on the floor, Sam, with quick thinking, drew the curtains. To evade the shadow's assault, they needed to locate a place devoid of light, and so Sarah guided her 2 children into the attic possessed only a single window, and shortly after Sam blocked it with a board. Without light, they thought they'd escaped the shadow, but still felt something following them. Sarah's injured leg, not recovered, left her defenseless against the woman. She was quickly pushed down. Sam rushed to help, but was also pushed back by a mysterious force. When the younger daughter picked up the flashlight, Sarah had already vanished, leaving behind only a waving shadow. The strange woman slowly advanced towards the little girl, then embraced her and disappeared into a cloud of black smoke. To retrieve her daughter, Sarah pursued a sound into a peculiar passage. At the passage's end, she incredibly saw her deceased husband. Every sensation here was remarkably real, as if he'd genuinely returned to life. Sarah lay peacefully beside him, uncertain of the reality, yet overwhelmed with such profound happiness. If this were a dream, she wished never to awaken. Just as she was deeply immersed in this blissful state, she accidentally noticed the tattoo on her husband's arm was upside down. She secretly glanced at the other things in the room and saw that everything from the paintings to the clock, was inverted. It was then that Sarah suddenly realized this was an illusory world. While Sarah was in a daze, her husband suddenly threw a veil over her head. Once she awoke again to find herself back in the attic. She advanced towards her little daughter, wanting to protect her, but she failed to notice the shadow behind her, which had become menacing and aggressive, like a demon. Just as Sarah was about to touch her daughter, a vivid image flashed into her mind. It was at this moment that Sarah finally realized the veiled woman was, in reality, her own dark side. This clarifies why the woman initially stated that Sarah had summoned her, caused Sarah to lose all hope in life, even to the extent of wanting to end her own life. However, it was only when her darker self intended to take away her loved ones that she realized family was more important than anything else. She told Sam to take his sister to the neighbors for safety, while she stayed behind to make a complete end to it with her other self. With no more worries about what might happen next, Sarah pointed the gun at herself. As her trembling hand was about to pull the trigger, a beam of light shone in from outside. She saw that Sarah and his sister hadn't left. They had run back. It was then that Jaime realized that family unity was paramount, and with that concerted efforts, they could endure through anything. Just then, the house lights came on, and her dark self vanished permanently.